Hi, welcome back. I sometimes use the term Hawa, and Hawa is the fifth and sixth letter of the ancient Hebrew alphabet. And so I don't use the term Jesus, I use the term Hawa because in Isaiah 43, verse 11, the Creator says, even I, am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. And also, Ezekiel bore the burden for the house of Israel. Ezekiel chapter 4 speaks about what Ezekiel had to go through in order to bear the burden for the house of Israel. And so I do not recognize Jesus as my Savior. And that's going to get a lot of people upset, but we never had a J in our language. And Jesus was given to us by the ancient Romans. Our foreparents were beat and murdered into accepting Jesus as our Savior, when in fact He is not. And the Creator said that we should not put any other gods before Him. And putting Jesus in front of the Creator is idol worship. Jesus was the first slave ship that brought slaves to America. It's verifiable. And now I will jump right back into where I left off in chapter 16 of spiritual messages channeled through me. Any human whom Jamaican people would rightly term as bad-minded is not from the Spirit Redeemer. When angels in the flesh sin, they are covered under the blood of Awa. That is, God does not even acknowledge their sin because He knows they do not sin presumptuously. Angels in the flesh grieve when they know that they have grieved or offended Awa. Please note, none of this fictional stuff that I'm telling you about the Spirit Redeemer and the Spirit Harvester negates what the Bible tells you about Adam being the cause of man's sin and therefore death. Note, man, human, the flesh died in Adam. Does the Bible say the Spirit died in Adam? Not any version that I've read, and certainly not the King James Version. Evil gains souls, the memory bank of the Spirit it seeks by harvesting the ones He sends out to the field called earth. This is in keeping with the Oxford Dictionary definition of gain for redeem. In contrast, while still in keeping with Oxford's definition of redeem, the Spirit Redeemer regains souls that were His before they were rogue alongside evil, and caused my merciful Awa to turf their backsides as well as their front sides out of heaven. Him fling them out, dash them out, hence falling angels drop out of heaven, fall from the grace of Awa, but can be redeemed by the grace of Awa. I would just leave them, forget them, and that is one reason why only Awa could be Awa. He is mercy. At work for the harvester. I hate to admit this, but I am compelled to do so. My mother and my sister Randy are from evil. There is no battle here for their spirits because they were sent here by evil. Randy knows it. Just as I tapped into my spirit beings, so did she, and they landed her in the hospital as a result of their wreaking havoc on her psyche. As my dad said after visiting her in the hospital, she became like a little baby again. We've all seen those movies wherein people make deals with the devil to get something, a job, a promotion, a mate, money, and after getting it, evil feeds their desire for more, and he in turn requires more of them until they realize just how much it is not in their interest to keep doing his bidding, and they want out, and he won't let them out, and he seeks to return their souls to himself. But then there was my dad, who, like Honoroo, interceded for Dreyfus, interceded for Randy, but in the end she too became an agent of his death. Who the hell wants to leave such a record about their own family, especially when the being incarnate in the person of Randy entered the world by way of such a good man? As I said, I am not at a level spiritually where I can do battle for souls such as hers. And neither was my dad. Her spiritual condition is the same as Blightus Rodin's. Did I not tell you that Blightus Rodin's angels are paradoxically his advocates as well as his adversaries? Did I not tell you that they help him in his evil deeds while they aim to destroy him as a result of the same deeds? That is what they do. Why do you think murderers end up in prison after the joy of killing? Answer: the evil that aids them in their misdeeds also takes pleasure in their punishment. Who wants to believe that her mother is from evil? Kim saw it, and now I do too. I had known it maybe my whole life, but did not understand until now. So Kim said, I choose the adversaries in my family. This does not mean we sat in the same classroom and I chose them to torment my life. My choosing them is no different from the way Barack Obama chose Kim Jong-un as his North Korean counterpart, in that I knew who would be showing up in my time here, just as President Obama knows who is likely to show up as the president of whatever country and oppose him while he is in office fighting for social justice in a more peaceful world. Thus it is not so much that I said to my adversaries, please come and wreak havoc in my life, as it is that I knew somebody would show up to ensure that I met my challenges to move me into the spiritual place I came to reach. Randy and her mother are not here to do direct battle for souls the way missionaries battle with heathens for their souls. They are here to prevent me from battling for souls, spirits. They are here to destroy me and thereby destroy my work. That explains the role they played in killing my father. Why did my mother not just stifle me as an infant? She could not. No more than Blightus Rodin can commit suicide. Likewise, Randy could not. My team of spirits would not let her. In fact, they used her to protect me. I've always known that sometimes my team goes into serious battle for me. In 2004, they actually allowed me to tap into a conference that was being held at my place of work, a group home, to have me fired. It happened again last year at my current job. In 2004, my spirit team members were storming heaven to keep me here on earth. In 2014, they were storming heaven for me to keep my job, while my counterpart of the opposing source and his team were seeking to have me fired. I am supposed to tell you that every human being on the face of this planet Earth fits somewhere in this warfare. The demons of the earth are not few and far between. They are numerous. You interact with them constantly. They are included amongst nurses, doctors, teachers, mechanics, hotel staff, waitresses, pilots, priests, nuns. They are people with whom you interact every day, the ones we trust and respect, and then there are also the ones we know we should fear and hopefully never encounter. The serial killers we see on the news, detached from our lives until I saw evil carnate among nurses, amongst doctors, and amongst police officers in my dad's last days here. The awakening hit my spirit so hard that I am not yet at the place where I can go back and relive it in detail enough to write about it. Praise Allah for the pages He allowed me to write as the events unfolded in order for me to make a complaint to the Ontario College of Nurses, a set of demons, defenders of evil. I must also say that nurses and doctors who are from evil are strategically placed key warriors. Teachers, for example, direct people. Their part in this war is fought by influencing human minds. The effects are so immediately seen, but they are tangible. The effects are not immediately seen, but they are tangible. Teachers, guidance counselors, and social workers who are in service to the spirit harvester are directors for evil because their purpose is to subtly direct souls to the harvester. Nurses and doctors, judges and lawyers, police and soldiers are the fixers of society. They are seen as the ones who heal and protect society. Thank Allah for the ones such as Dr. Amara Anozi, who are indeed what society expects them to be and are therefore not a part of the group about which I am about to write. Within this group of fixers are the healers, the doctors and nurses. Society for the most part trusts them and appreciates them in a special way. As such, coupled with their specialized knowledge, they are powerful associates. They are powerful societies within the larger society, wherein they tightly guard their own formal and informal codes, including their code of death. They, like soldiers, but with much more sophistication, are also the gatekeepers between this world and the next. Listen to me carefully. They are strategically placed warriors for the harvester in this spiritual warfare. I, Deneace Charmaine Green, watched a doctor named Richard Colwell at Scarborough General Hospital in Toronto, Ontario, Canada on May 24, 2013, convinced and even bullied my father, Rudolph Green, into moving into the other world. I have to write this. I saw two nurses named Alia Mongolu, RN, and Shiny Daniel, RN, torture my father by withholding pain medication from him for his stage 4 cancer during his last week of life. I saw Alia Mongolu torture my father, Rudolph Green, by sticking a beeping thermometer into his ear to take his temperature after he repeatedly told the nurses that it caused him numbness and a ringing in his ear. He said, "Stop." She just went ahead and jabbed the thermometer into his ear as though he was already dead. I saw the nurses disregard his pleas to his wife to give him a break from the incessant mental and physical torture she inflicted on him. He just wanted a break so he could get some sleep. And when I dared to step in to protect him from the nurse's brutality and from being dragged off hospital gurney by his 77-year-old wife to bathe him in a bathroom consisting of a sink and a toilet, I saw these two nurses tap into their spiritual force and build a case against me. My head still spins at their ability to lie without flinching. I watched these two nurses aid my mother both actively and passively in killing my father. Kim said the ordeal was a part of both of our assignments. My dad and I were put here as a catalyst to bring awareness to this world, to speak out for people who have experienced the same thing and who will experience the same thing, but who have no one to speak for them. Those nurses spoke to my dad in gentle voices while they tortured him to death. Who is going to question them about a murder when their records show the patient was already at death's door? If I did not experience it, I could not tell you about it. Well, I was there, and I saw, and I experienced it. What if I had not? What if I did not have a compulsion to write? Nobody would know that a good man was murdered. I could feel the unspoken covenant among the strangers with kindred spirits. My mother and the nurses and the police and the security guards who were involved in ensuring that my father's spirit no longer remained in the flesh of Rodolph Green. Evil was after his soul, but they were not able to harvest it from him because the great Creator, the Spirit Redeemer, had already determined that once the earthly assignment of my father was done, he would return to the classroom in which I had seen him. When you attend every scheduled treatment and you pay for every test and every treatment required and your doctor tells you all is well, and you go to a different doctor and the doctor tells you, no, your prostate specific antigen level that was at 800 8 months ago, even a year ago, is now at 2,400. What do you do? What do you do about this evil embodied in a doctor pushing you through the exit door of life when you have only a few weeks left to live? What do you do when your wife and one of your daughters cause your medical records to disappear between the airport and home? Even if the records are available to you, how do you prove that the doctor did not give you the medication and the treatment that he recorded in your file? You can't. Autopsy? The medication is not in this tissue, but that could be because traces are in whatever tissue, but there is no trace in this tissue, but. And if you had insisted that no autopsy get done, then, and the mind games, if you had done this and if you had done that, then this would have happened and that would have happened, and your father is still dead. I have to take a break here. Pardon me, I have to take a break here.